Here we have the notes for 1B called equation of a circle. Okay, I've given you the equations here at the top here, the kind of the standard form for two different types. This one, x squared plus y squared equals r squared. This is if the center of my circle is at the origin called 0, 0. Okay, the x and y stand for all the points that go around here are part of the circle. And of course, r is the radius of the circle. Probably the most common error is that you forget to realize that this number in my equation is representing r squared. And usually when we look at a problem, we want r so that we can easily graph it. If the center of my circle is not in the center or at the origin, then I have an equation that looks like this, where the center is going to be at hk, looks something like this. And then the points all around the circle are going to be x and y, which we don't really do anything with, just that's what they are. And again, r squared over here. So let's start out just by identifying some of these things based on the equation that's given. So you can see the equation here. My radius is going to be at h and k. In the standard form, it is a minus. So whatever h is with a minus, it remains that. So 5. And the k is going to be a negative 2. So it's kind of the opposite of what is there. If it's a minus 5, the radius is 5. Plus 2, it's a minus 2. Oops, I see I just did an error. Well, you guys are used to that. Let's put that over there. Radius is going to be here, so that 16 represents r squared. Okay, and we just got done doing a whole bunch of those. So square root, square root. So the radius is going to equal the square root of 16, which is 4. So that's going to be for that circle. Next one, the radius, we'll start with that this time. So r squared equals 9. You don't always have to write this out, but we're just learning. So the radius of that circle would be 3 units. The center, again, when I look at this, it's kind of like the opposite of what is there. So the center is going to be at negative 2, positive 1. If I have just an x squared or a y squared, that's a 0. Okay, so we can see over here our radius is going to be the square root of 36. Oops, let's do it this way. So r equals 6. And my center is going to be 0, 3. Now let's do that same thing, and this time we're going to actually sketch it on a graph. So let's identify the center. Okay, on this equation right here, the center is at 1, negative 3, and the radius is going to be 2. So I'm going to find this point here, 1, negative 3 is right here. That's the center of my circle, and a radius of 2. So basically we're just going to sketch it out. So we're just going to go over 2, it's going through there, 2 this way, 2 this way, and 2 this way, and that helps me just kind of sketch out. I'm going 2 because that's the radius of my circle. Okay, let's do the same thing on this one. So find my center, positive 2, negative 1, the radius is going to be 4. So I find again the center of my center of my circle, 2, negative 1, and this time from that center I'm going to count out a radius of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going out that far, out that far. And then you just sketch it out. And again, we can go out those 4 directions because they are along the graph lines, and we can easily count those. Okay? Let's stop it there for part 1, and then we'll continue.